How is everybody doing? It's Joe here from Wibbercast, and today I'm going to be showing you guys a really cool deck. So, we're in a format now where Megas and EXs are quite popular. And as a result, counters to these cards have emerged, and people have been playing them to great effect. And one of those cards is going to be Fright Night of Yveltal. This ability is just fantastic. Look, we all know it is, and especially in a format with no tool removal, this guy is almost the new Zerasic in a way. And it completely shuts down Mega decks entirely on its own, simply by being in the active spot, and it's coupled with a great attack. But there's a couple of different ways you can run this guy, and the way that I am deciding to run today is going to be paired with Ampharos from Steam Siege. So this is Yveltal Ampharos. I have tried this deck, or this sort of concept, in a bunch of different variations. I've tried it with just Zoroarks and Zoroark breaks. I've tried it with just straight Yveltals. I've tried it with max elixirs to try and get Yveltal break up quicker. And in the end, this is the conclusion I came to. This was the most consistent and probably the best list that I came up with out of all the multiple ones that I tried myself. So this is really where I'd be recommending you go with the deck. The concept kind of came about because I was like, Ampharos' ability is absolutely fantastic. Like, really, really good ability. No question. That's amazing. It just... Obviously, the attack's not great, and I wanted to try and find something that could partner with it. Something that would sort of complement this ability well, but wouldn't take up too much space or make the deck inconsistent. And to me, Yveltal and Yveltal Break just sort of jumped out at me as like, these are the two cards that you want to be partnering with Shocking Light. So, Shocking Light. You put 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's EXs once per turn. If you have 2 Ampharos in play, this does of course stack, so you get 60 damage free on the board out of nowhere. This is just amazing. Really amazing ability, and you can do some crazy stuff with it. So, I really like this ability, because it obviously partners with Pitch Black Spear well. Let's say you have 2 Ampharos in play, you just put 60 damage on a Shaymin, and then you Pitch Black Spear and you kill the Shaymin, and that's pretty damn good. It always is. And it obviously combos with Yveltal Break really well, because Yveltal Break does 30 damage to anything with damage already on it. So you can do 30 damage to an EX, and then you can just double that with Yveltal Break. Really putting in the work. Seriously, this partnership just felt so natural to me. And it's the best way that I've found to run Ampharos so far. It even helps with Zoroark after Muscle Band was gone. Zoroark lost a lot of kind of the cards that allow it to be great on its own. Like, it lost Muscle Band and it lost Target Whistle, and those are 2 huge damage modifiers for it. I know we still have Captivating Pokepuff, but I prefer the consistency of Target Whistle. You know, there's a bit of a random factor to Pokepuff, I guess. And even being able to Mind Jack with like a full bench is 160, plus the Ampharos is 190. Like, you're now hitting those numbers that you wouldn't be able to hit otherwise. That's killing a Zygarde EX, which I have actually done with this deck. That's how I know it kills Zygarde EX. So it really adds damage to a deck that sort of lost a couple of its damage modifiers, I feel. Yeah, and that's why I really like it. And also with things like Bursting Balloon and Fury Belt that you can't really get away with in a deck that runs such a heavy count of Fright Night of Yveltal, this seems like a nice compromise, or a nice sort of secondary solution to that issue. So anyway, I'll just get onto the counts of the deck. We have 3 Fright Night of Yveltal. I really wanted to run as many of these as I possibly could, because this ability is just too good, and running 3 of them against a deck that relies on Spirit Links, like I've played Mega Alakazam with this thing, and you just wipe the floor with it just by simply being in the active spot. There's really not much you can do beyond that. It's just such a good ability, and Pitch Black Spear is a great attack too. You can usually survive a hit as well thanks to 130 HP, which is quite a lot on the basic non-EX, so you can really force some awkward plays out of your opponent. It's just one of the best cards we have in the format right now. I still opted for one of the Oblivion Wing Yveltals. This is largely because things that do just 30 damage end up being a lot better than you'd think in this deck, because the Ampharos makes it just add up to so much bigger numbers, and the Yveltal Break and the Pitch Black Spear means we can pick off stuff that we start to weaken with this guy anyway, so we get a lot more value out of Oblivion Wing than a lot of other decks do. I've seen people just dropping this guy altogether. Now that, you know, low HP non-EX decks are kind of moving out of the format, it feels a little less relevant to be running this guy. But I think this deck still gets away with it and still really appreciates it. Yeah, Oblivion Wing's a fantastic attack, and it really helps us get out the one Yveltal Break that we have. I think people will be looking at this deck going, well, the Ampharos synergy with Yveltal Break is really good. Why aren't you running more Yveltal Breaks? Why aren't you running Max Elixirs? My reason for this, and you feel free to try it if you want, try and get a more consistent list than I did, but my reason for this one is basically that when you're running the Ampharos, you kind of take up a lot of spaces in your deck, and spaces that aren't dedicated to any sort of consistency whatsoever. You have to commit a lot of resources to get the Ampharos up, so you need to factor that into your deck building process. And part of that was just if you run it with max elixirs and really high counts of basic energy, it becomes difficult to sort of function in general. And I mean, in concept, yeah, it's great, but it just doesn't pan out for you that way when you start playing it. So, Baleful Knight, as great and all as an attack it is, you kind of have to relegate it just to being the one card. I still think one copy of this thing's really good, though. So, first of all, 150 HP. You increase the HP of your Fright Knights. That alone is fantastic, because Fury Belt can't do that, but this guy can. So, really, really good stuff there. The other thing about this is it means if your opponent plays Silent Lab to try and shut off Fright Knight, doesn't work because you're not facing anymore. I love this interaction. It's so cool. It hasn't come up yet, but I want it to. I really hope it comes up in these games because it's really, really funny the way that actually works out. On top of that, look, it's not too difficult to power up one Baleful Knight. Getting up another one's difficult. That's why we don't have two of these guys. But getting up one Baleful Knight, you should be able to actually attack with this twice because you have enough HP to do so. That's 240 HP damage plus whatever you put on the board with the sort of secondary effect of the attack. You get a lot of value out of even just one copy of this, and if you really, really want to, you can Super Rod it back in. I really appreciate I wouldn't even increase it to 1. I think 1 is fine. I don't think you need more than that. Going to take a quick look at the Ampharos line. So we do have a 3-1-2 line with 3 rare candies. This seems kind of janky. I know it looks a bit awkward. This is sort of the best count that I've found so far to try and get my Ampharos up as consistently as possible. It's kind of the one that I've been most comfortable with. I feel like even having one Ampharos in play gives the deck such a massive boost. Having 2 in play is nice. Like, usually I only get up with 1 Ampharos and it still works perfectly fine. No issues there whatsoever. Yeah, I've been fine with this so far. The 3 Mareep, just for the record, has this Thunderwave attack, which is pretty good. It's paralysis on a coin flip. It's just worth knowing that it does actually have a useful attack, and we can use it, of course, because we have dark energy, and it does not require a lightning. And you can also ram for 20 with Flaaffy, but that's never going to come up. Maybe it's never going to come up, but just know it's there. Yeah, so 3-1-2, and 3 rare candy is fine. I could see it putting in a third Ampharos if you really wanted to get up more than 1 in a game. Like, I wouldn't argue with that. I think I cut it for an extra consistency supporter, which I'll get onto in a minute. This has worked out for me fine so far, and like I said, even 1 in play will change the game for you. So on top of that, we also have a 2-2 Zoroark line. Zoroark does a couple of things. First of all, Mind Jack is just a fantastic attack. We can use it for 1 attachment. We can pivot in and out of our Fright Knights, which not a lot of decks can do. I think a 2-2 line is fine. Since our main attacker is Fright Knight, we really just want something else that we can use to pivot in and out of it, and we can use to sort of... It provides as a different weakness as well, which helps too. Yeah, no, I mean, look, we all know how good Zoroark's attack is, especially in a format where AZ isn't a thing, so it's harder to control the damage output if you're going up against a Zoroark. And with the Ampharos, Mind Jack just starts doing crazy big numbers. So that's the point of the Zoro. 2-2 is fine, like I said. I did, of course, try the full 4-4 complement with some breaks, no Yveltals whatsoever, and I just tried running it like that with the Ampharos just for extra damage output, but I think I did prefer it with the Pitch Black Spear, and the Ampharos synergy is just too good to ignore. So that's why I went with this variant. Got one Yveltal-EX in here. Yveltal-EX is just good. Look, it's just a basic Pokemon that hits big numbers. Few reasons as well, like Evil Ball, again, combined with Ampharos, you're hitting big numbers. Y-Cyclone combined with Ampharos, you're 2-shotting Megas, and you're powering up maybe an Yveltal Break on the bench, or maybe you're sending the double colorless back to a Zoroark to finish off something else. Yeah, both of these attacks are really good. Look, we all know how good Yveltal-EX is, so I really shouldn't have to justify this earning a slot in here. It's just a really solid attacker. One Absol. Oh, I love this guy. I've been putting him in so many decks, actually, this format, but it makes so much sense here. So one of the little annoying things about this deck is that Pitch Black Spear only does damage to bench DXs, and Shocking Light only does damage to EXs. So if we want to damage a non-EX, we have to, we can put 30 damage on a Shaymin, and then we can just move it over with the Absol onto the non-EX. So that's pretty cool. There aren't a whole lot of non-EX decks that we need to do that against, but in general, just being able to move 3 damage counters around the board just wins us games. I've had games where my opponent has had easy prizes on the board, but a big something like maybe a promo Jirachi on the board, then like something really big and bulky in the active spot. So I can use this to move 30 damage back to the promo Jirachi, and then use Baleful Knight to kill it and take my final prize of the game, which really helps out and just wins games that you otherwise wouldn't win. So yeah, the Absol's a crucial player in this deck. I really, really like it. And finally, 2 Shaymin just to help set up. I didn't want to go higher than that because we don't really have any ways of controlling our bench size, so you don't really have room for any more than 2 in particular. Especially because 1 space will always be dedicated to the Ampharos. What else we got in here? Onto the trainers and supporters. We're just going to... Yeah, I'll start with the items. 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VS Seeker. I shouldn't have to explain that. 4 Trainers Mail. Like, we all know this is a good card. We all know it's a good consistency card. I've tried cutting it from a bunch of my decks so far, but I'm not cutting it from this one. Like I was saying earlier, one of the big things about Ampharos is that it does take up a lot of space in your deck. And it does make it a bit more difficult to be consistent when you're like, oh, I want to top deck Sycamore. Oh, look, it's Flaaffy. It does happen sometimes. So you need to make sure that you give yourself the most outs as possible and you make your deck as consistent as you possibly can. So I think it's absolutely necessary that you run as many consistency cards as you can fit in. So that's why the 4 Team Mail are there. 1 Super Rod to reshuffle things in, and 3 Rare Candy. That's all fine. On to the supporters. And I'm sure there's one question you're all looking at. It's not the 4 Sycamore, the 2 N, the 2 Lysandre, or the 1 Hex Maniac. None of that should need any explanation. But the 1 Misty is Determination. Misty has become a big, big card for me. I really enjoyed playing this so far. I think this is severely underrated in combo-based decks. So, here's the thing. Let's say, alright, if I was playing like a Max Elixir deck, this would be a little easier to explain, but it works here too, so we'll go with it. Let's say like I need a double colorless to attack, and I need an Ampharos and a Rare Candy. Let's say I want all 3 of these things in one turn. And I have, let's say, the Ampharos and the Rare Candy in my hand, but I don't have the double colorless. Actually, that's a bad example. Let's say I have the double colorless and the Ampharos in my hand, but I don't have the Rare Candy. So if I play N, I shuffle in the double colorless and the Ampharos, and it means that I can't play it then. And if I play Sycamore, I get rid of both them, and it means that I don't have those resources in hand either, and I still have to dig for them again. But with Misty, I keep the 2 resources that I already had in my hand, and I can still search for the 3rd one. This comes up a lot. Honestly, it does come up quite a bit. It's also just gets you out of dead draws. Even turn 1, it's a great option to play instead of Sycamore if you don't want to Sycamore away like a bunch of important stuff in your hand. Late game, it's a lot better, and this was originally just 3N and 4 Sycamore, but I think I cut one of the N's for the Misty. Just because it's a little more flexible, and especially late game, I'd rather be using this than the N if I'm in the lead. Yeah, no, it's been really good at finding combo pieces and stuff like that. Especially if you are running Max Elixir, I think this is a fantastic card to run with it. The example I used probably had some flaws in it, like you could have just attached the double colorless and then played the Sycamore or something like that. But the point is you can search for combo pieces with the Misty without getting rid of the combo pieces you currently have. And of course, if you need to search for multiple combo pieces, then these guys are better. But you know yourself, this is why we have VS Seeker. We can choose between the one we want to play. So I really like Misty, actually, and I've been using it in a couple of different decks this format. If you want an extra draw supporter, you don't want to put in a 3rd N or something like that, don't sleep on Misty. Really, really solid card. Really, really solid card. Stadiums, we have 1 Faded Town and 1 Reverse Valley. So I'm kind of deciding between which one of these is actually better. I'm not quite sure at the moment. I've been using Reverse Valley the most, and it's been putting in a lot of work, that's for sure. Pitch Black Spear doing 70 as opposed to 60 is pretty cool. A few things put me off it though. First of all, against Mega Scizor, Reverse Valley sucks. Like, it's awful. You have to play the metal side towards yourself. Because one weird thing, I'm not sure if people know this about Reverse Valley, but this side will increase your Dark Pokemon's damage that they do to your opponent's active, but this side will reduce the amount of damage that metal Pokemon take regardless of whether they're active or not. So this means that if we have a Reverse Valley in play and the dark side is facing towards us and we're against Mega Scizor, we'll do Pitch Black Spear. It gets increased by 10 and then decreased by 10, so it balances out. The active only takes 60, but the benched Scizor will only take 50 because our damage isn't increased since we're not targeting the active, and the damage they take is reduced because, well, they're a Seal type, and that's what the Stadium does. So it can really screw you over against Scizor. Faded Town, however, is really good against Scizor, so even if you only have it in play for one turn, which you probably will, it's still a lot better than Faded Town would be. So, I mean, Faded Town obviously is just good against a bunch of different things. Like, there's so many Megas in the format right now that it just makes sense. So, I'm still deciding on which one of these is best. I probably just want to run, like, 2 copies of Reverse Valley or 2 copies of Faded Town. I don't know if I want to run a 1-1 split. This one's really up to you guys and up to what you think you're going to play against. It probably isn't going to make a huge difference to how you play your games, but I don't know. I'm fine with the 1-1 split at the moment, but I'd rather just pick 2 of the better stadium. I'm just not sure which one that is at the moment. We also have 2 Float Stone. Just to stand in retreat. That's why the Float Stone's there. That's really all the tools we run as well, because Fright Night shuts them all off, so there's no real point in us running a huge amount of tools. And plus, we can't really dedicate loads of spots to tools, because we got the Ampharos, so we got to make room for that. 7 Dark and 4 DCE. The 4 DCE is great. We just attack with Zoroark straight off the bat. It's great with Yveltal-EX. It allows us to power our Pitch Black Spear really easily, stuff like that. Also gives us the option to Sky Return, which is really nice. And like I was saying about Oblivion Wing Yveltal, even doing 30 damage will add up, because it's extra damage that you can add to with Pitch Black Spear, with Baleful Knight, with Ampharos. So even little bits of chip damage here and there do make a difference. 7 Dark seems to be the perfect count. I have had no issues with this amount of energy. So on to just one other option I do want to point out that you could run. I think it's only one. I'll try and see if I can think of any others. Mewtwo-EX. So, this is kind of a concept replacement for Absol in this deck. Since we don't run like Parallel City or anything. So, once we play Absol, it's done. We can only use it once per game, and then it's just kind of stuck on our bench, and it takes up a spot. It's not that annoying. We usually use it at the late game anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much, but even if you have it out in your opening hand, this can be kind of frustrating. Like, you need to play it so you draw more with Shaymin or something like that. You don't get any use out of it, but the idea with Meowstic is that even if you bench it like turn 1, you can still get use out of it for the rest of the game. So Shadow Weir lets you move 1 damage counter from one of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. You have to be active, but that's fine. We got Zoroark. We can just, like, if our opponent takes a knockout, we can just promote the Meowstic, do the ability, and then switch out of it with the Zoroark. So it's not an issue. It's just a little more. You'll use it more often in the game than you'll use Absol. But the question is the effect better? I don't think it is. You're also working with a 160 HP EX, which isn't super great. It's nice in concept, though, and if you are kind of fed up with the Absol, but you like the idea, then Meowstic is probably where you want to be looking at. Okay, well, I think that's going to cover it all. I mean, I guess you could run some Darkrai in here, but if you wanted to run like a Darkrai EX, you'd have to build it completely differently, because we don't retain a whole lot of dark energy on our board as it stands. It's mostly just double colorless and the odd dark energy, so that we have the Pitch Black Spear going. Like I said, if we had a board that was just full of dark energy, then Baleful Knight would be a lot easier to use, but it would be a lot more inconsistent. The other thing here is that you could, the worst matchup that we have is against like all the fairy decks that are showing up right now. So things like Xerneas Break, things like Rainbow Road. These are kind of issues for us. I think the best thing to do is just accept that you don't beat those. Like, Rainbow Road is an all-out loss. It is. I don't think there's anything we can do about that. I'm not too mad about that, though. Like, I mean, this still has great matchups against a bunch of other things. Like, anything with a Mega, you just absolutely destroy it. Even against Vileplume, if you get, like, an Ampharos up and you start just doing 30 to them every turn, you start doing crazy stuff. Yeah, this thing does have some great matchups across the board. It's just those fairy types that really sort of hinder it. If you did feel like trying to have a slightly better chance against the fairies, I would cut this for a Lugia EX so that you hit them and you don't apply resistance. Like I said, I don't really have room for both of those, so I'm just sticking to just the one Yveltal at the moment. And also, Yveltal is better in like every other matchup, so I feel like I'd rather just sort of accept that I'm going to have a tough time against those decks, and I'm going to have a great time against like pretty much anything else. So yeah, that is the deck, and I am going to hop into a game with it. Okay, so I know I normally just jump straight into the games, but I didn't do that this time because I played a couple of games and they were awful, like really bad. Opening game, I had Absol and just 6 energy in hand. And After that, I donked 2 people. After that, I won a game because of a PTCGO glitch. It has not been. And then after that, for some reason, the deck reverted and turned back into an old version of the list I had that is not as optimal. So I don't know why PTCGO did that, but it did. Yeah, it's been a pretty terrible run so far. So the video was supposed to go up on Friday. It didn't. It's going to be going up on Saturday. I hope it's going up on Saturday, so I assume that's when you guys will be seeing it. But this is the reason for the delay, is just stuff that's out of my control, like playing bad games against people. Alright, that's Mewtwo. Mewtwo's a fun one. If the coin didn't give it away for himself. Anyway, we'll flip heads. Nah, damn it. That's not too bad. I mean, like, Fright Night in the active is pretty damaging to Mewtwo. He could be running Garbodor, which makes this... Oh, it's very kind of you, thank you. Not a fantastic hand. Not gonna lie, we don't have any supporters here. Also, one thing I'm contemplating is actually just cutting the rare candies to a much lower thing and replacing them with Flaaffys, because it generally takes a little time to get the Ampharos up anyway, and I think it might be more consistent if we ran the Flaaffys just over the rare candies. One Friday Night in the active is great, though. Be interesting to see if he is running the Trubbish and the Garbodor. Oh, well, there we go. That answers that question. So I guess we can still like Lysandre it up and just hold it there. I suppose if he evolves into the Garbodor we can't, but that could be problematic that he's gotten it down this early. And we don't look like we have a way of dealing with it, so that could be an issue. Even with this, though, the spread damage is still great. We are going to have to try and pick it off, though, so we can start abusing the Ampharos, or we have to just give up on the Ampharos altogether. You either take one route or the other, really. Zoroark can still put in the work against this guy, just because he's able of doing a decent amount of damage just right off the bat. Let's not forget Yveltal BREAK. Just making it more difficult to KO the Fright Nights in the first place. I can imagine Float Stone or Spirit Link. Probably Float Stone, since that should be his priority over Spirit Link right now. Well, he's going to go for the Spirit Link. I feel like I would have gone for the Float Stone, but maybe he has it in hand. He's going to Ultra Ball. I'm not sure if I agree with the whole Skyla for a Spirit Link thing there. I mean, yeah, it's important to hit them, but you need to hit the Float Stone first. Like, I don't really agree with this man's line of play. To be honest, I feel like he's got the Shaymin there, that's fine. I don't know. Of course, most Mewtwo lists do run Parallel City, but in the meantime, he's giving me something really easy to pick off. Two things that are really easy to pick off, actually. He's going to VS Seeker for N. I don't know why he's doing that now. Wow. Look at this hand, guys. Look at this hand. Alright, well, we know we're going to get End, so unfortunately this little thing isn't going to happen here. I am opting to attach the Dark instead of the DCE, mostly because I know the guy has Skyla in his discard pile. And if he's running Enhanced Hammer, that's a terrible, terrible idea for us. So yeah, he's going to play the Zond. Bring out the Mareep. Is he going to go for the KO, like, right now? He needs Float Stone to do it, and if he's Float Stoning this, he's not Float Stoning the Garbodor, so... We can manually retreat, 3, 6, 7... Yeah, I mean, he will take the KO, but I don't really think that that's... Give me a lot of Zon targets, that's what he's doing. Wow, he's going to Mega Evolve an end turn. Very strange turn. Very strange turn indeed. Okay, so now I have 2 options. I'm obviously going to Rare Candy into this guy. And I think I'm going to start working on the Shaymin. But I think I want to attach and then retreat. 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, 9. 10. So if he attaches another energy, yeah, he can kill the Fright Night next turn. I might be fine with just having the Ampharos in the active. Since at this point, like, the Spirit Link thing is irrelevant. He's evolved 2. You know what? As weird and all as that sounds, I think I'm going to do that. Even though we're in top deck mode, we're still putting in the work. And I'm going to stick a Dark Energy on this guy so Yveltal Break becomes more of a deal. I think we're going to Shocking Light. I don't want to give him damage change options right now. It's a really awkward deck to play against, I know. Going to try and work against this Shaymin, since it's a really easy target right now. And if I hit Float Stone, I can just retreat and finish it off with another Shocking Light, so... The Hoopa was another option there. I mean, I can interchange if I want. They're two easy targets, and I'd like to take them as quickly as I can before he starts getting Parallel City down and stuff like that. Oh, well, too late for that. So he's going to Parallel City that. That's fine. I can still get off on the Hoopa. And he's going to end me. This is all fine by me. Is he going to hit Trubbish Float Stone? Or Garbodor Float Stone, I mean, though. Nope, he's not. So just Psychic Infinity for 100. Yveltal Break looking very dangerous now, because I'm going to be able to power this up. I suppose we'll do the Trainers Mail first. Ultra Ball's pretty great here. Let's see. It's going to be Yveltal Break. Suppose I'll get rid of Ampharos and a Dark Energy. And we will get out the Yveltal Break. I should have looked to see if the second Shaymin was in there, actually. That was a mistake on my part, but... So Float Stone will be pretty killer right now. We'll go for the Shaymin. Well, we get N. That's still kind of cool. Yep, I'll play that. And we do indeed hit the Float Stone. We got Zoroark and everything. We got Reverse Valley, so this means I can hit this for 130. And I could even hit this for 60. The issue now is that he is going to be able to kill the Yveltal Break in one hit. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Yeah. So he's going to be able to kill Yveltal in one hit. So there's almost an argument. I kind of don't even know if I want to counter that Parallel City because I don't want him to Shaymin out of this. So, well, first of all, with Shocking Light. Who do we hit? This is where math becomes an issue for me. Okay, well, we'll hit this Mewtwo, right? I'm just going to start working on the Mewtwo's. Screw that. If I do this, I do 120 double to 60. I can then come in with the Zorua and hit 369, 100. And take the KO. Okay. Let's do that. Let's do that. Yep. Do I play the Reverse Valley or not? I kind of don't want to right now. Again, I want to trap his board as much as possible, so let's go for that. Yep. Let's go for the Baleful Knight. Alright, kind of an awkward way of playing, but every game you play against Mewtwo is going to be awkward, so... And if he does damage change, that's fine by me. He's not getting the KO. And I'll also be getting rid of 2 of his stadiums that way with the Reverse Valley, because he'll have to counter his own Parallel. There's really a lot of you have to think about with Mewtwo. When you're not able to one-hit KO it, you have to play, like, crazy good. So I don't really mind if he gets up the Garbodor here. It's not a huge concern to me. Yeah, he is going to get it up, but that's fine. I mean, we're in a position where we can Lysandre kill it now. Did he Skyla for VS Seeker? It's a strange move, but yeah, sure, that's fine. It'll draw him out of the hand. Pokemon Center Lady would have been really annoying there, but... Well, that didn't happen, so we're fine. We can go into Ampharos because it has the Float Stone in it, of course. Okay. So I'm going to Ultra Ball away that. I could Ultra Ball away that. What am I trying to get with this? Maybe an Oblivion Wing of Yveltal. I think that's what I'd really like out. What am I hoping to hit with this Trainer's Mail? Nothing, I suppose. Yeah. And we are going to grab Oblivion Wing of Yveltal. No point me Shaymin-ing, of course, obviously, because he's got the Garbodor out. DZE left in deck. All 4 of them. Excellent stuff. So we'll grab this guy. We'll do this. We'll do this. We'll Reverse Valley now. And Sycamore for the high 5. It is letting me retreat. Okay, good. Because the glitch that I came up against on PCCGO was it wouldn't let me retreat even though my Fright Night got knocked out. Again, I'll put that in the end of the video because it's quite funny. So we'll do this. I think I'll hold all this for now. Although, in case I get end, it might be a nice idea to Ultra Ball away this Lysandre. We just saw him Skylar for VS Seeker, right? So he is probably going to play end next turn. So... yeah, we've already got the pivot in Ampharos. I don't mind. We're going to lose this Zoroark for sure. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's get rid of both these. My phone buzzed for some reason. Football. Okay, I can check that afterwards. Let's see. I could get a Mareep. No, we've already lost that. I think I'm fine. Question here is, do I go for Fright Night or do I go for Yveltal-EX? I think at this point I'd rather just try the Yveltal-EX. Okay, he's going to concede on me. Alright, well, I mean, I think we had that kind of wrapped up. Because we get the Yveltal-EX out, we can then start chipping with Oblivion Wing of Yveltal, and we get to this issue where he has enough damage on him that damage changing doesn't really do him any good. End's going to earn him less prizes because he's starting to take stuff, and he doesn't really have Sycamore in his discard pile. I think we could have done well in that game. I wonder why he conceded. And maybe I was just playing too slow for him or something. But hey, the timer got only called to me once. So let's go for another game with that. Believe it or not, that was the best game I've managed to play with this deck in about 2 hours. I swear, it's been better before I recorded the video. It was just, since I started recording the video, I just keep playing against people who just draw dead. And it's been very, very frustrating. We'll go for our next opponent. Yeah, it's really awkward how you play against Mewtwo. You do trying to, like, especially in the early days. Oh no, we're playing against Greninja. Is this Greninja? We'll find out after the coin flip. If it's Greninja, that's like our worst matchup. Reason being, we really don't have much of a way of dealing with it. I suppose we'd be better off if we ran like Zorua Break and a second Hex Maniac, but we don't. Okay, well, it's Max Elixirs and Octillery. And Fury Belts, what is he running? Okay, well, obviously Manaphy. What's his main attacker, though? That's the question. This is a sweet hand. This is a sweet hand. Obviously. See, he's going first. I may want to save that for Ultra Ball fodder. Then Ultra Ball those two away, attach that and Shaymin more. Yeah. I'm going to hold a Mareep for now, just because it could be Ultra Ball fodder. He's going to mulligan again, actually. Well, we know he's running Enhanced Hammer. That's a huge thing that I now know. Really big information that he's given me there. This could just be like Octillery, Palkia, Glaceon, stuff like that. I didn't take into account that he didn't mulligan, so I suppose I can bench the Mareep now. Because it'll be much easier to find Ultra Ball targets. So that won't be of any concern to me. Anyway. There's a lot of micromanaging with non-EX Dark decks. There always has been, there always will be. Oh. I want to bench one of these. I think it's got to be the Zorua. We don't even know that he's attacking with an EX yet. I'm going to bench the Zorua. Yeah, we can hold the Mareep for now. Okay, Regice. Well, that's what he opens with. So I hope the Regice is like just a 1 or 2 of, and he has got other attackers in there that aren't Regice. Because otherwise this is going to be a very quick game. Yeah, Fright Night is a big issue to Regice actually, because If you've got a Manaphy on the bench, I think I explained this before. Have I explained this one before? Maybe I haven't. I'll explain it now. But Pitch Black Sphere is really good because, like, if they have a Manaphy on the bench, you two-shot the Regice and you two-shot the Manaphy. Especially if you can keep the Rough Seas out of play, it's just very difficult to play against. And there is a Manaphy, of course. Well, he's just going to pass. That's not good for him. I'm much less interested in playing this double colorless right now. Purely because I know he plays Enhanced Hammer, so we're going to Ultra Ball. For what do you think, guys? I'm thinking it might not be a terrible idea to have one of these guys out. Yveltal-EX obviously going to put in a little less work. I could even get Mareep out. The other Shaymin is there, so that's good to know. I'll just take the Oblivion Wing one for now. It's always nice to have this guy on the board early, because these guys do get killed, and you do need to regroup after that, and it's nice that you can just start attacking again for one attachment while still powering up the break. The breakthrough Yveltal also. There are definitely merits to that. Okay, we get the Misties. One of the situations where N will be better than Misty, obviously, as you can see from this hand. But I'm going to Misty away the Flaaffy. And let's just take a draw supporter. There is no draw supporter in this hand. I guess we'll take Shaymin. I'm not super worried because, let's see, Resistance Blizzard is 70. He will be able to two-shot us, but then we can come in with, like, Oblivion Wing and finish that off. Yeah, like, next turn I can attach the DCE and then Shaymin, so I'm not too worried about that. The Lysandre's an interesting idea that I could stop the artillery from going up, but... Nah, the Manaphy means that Float Stones are kind of irrelevant anyway, so I'm fine with that. Yeah, we'll just hold it there. Cool thing about Misty, one advantage it does have over Skyla is that you don't need to Misty. Like, you don't need to show your opponent what you get with Misty. Because obviously it can be any card, you don't have to prove that it's a trainer or something. Anyway, there does go the Rough Seas, so it's going to make killing this thing a little bit harder. Gonna Dive Ball. If it's a Manaphy, I think he's not thinking this through. Because I'll get at least 2 kills. Oh, it's a Glaceon. Interesting choice, given that I've got all basics on the bench, except for Zorua. But I've got plenty of things that can deal with that Glaceon. The Rough Seas is going to be a really big issue for me. He's going to end us, I'm fine with that. I would have liked to attach one of these first, but I didn't, obviously, because of the Enhanced Hammer. We got our own ends. And he's going to start using Resistance Blizzard. Which could be a bit of a setback for us, to be honest. Okay, we get Super Rod. Anything else? It's literally just Mareep and Flaaffy. That's fine. And I don't think we're going to need those. Although, it could be okay getting up a Mareep, I suppose. Let's see. Do I bench the Yveltal-EX? I think I do. It's just such a powerful attacker that I kind of want to. Hex Maniac and Pass doesn't sound too fun, so I guess we'll end. Not a super fantastic hand at all. Really not that great. I'd like to bench Mareep. Yeah, now that I know he does have some EXs, it could be nice to sort of balance out the Rough Seas. So we're going to have to do this. He's going to take the KO, which kind of sucks. But I know this guy is going to survive for a little bit longer. So I can deal with that. Got a Max Elixir. I'm going to fail it, wow. Second Bite's a decent attack as well. Yeah, and it's nice that you don't need the DCE to hit it either. He's going to get the Lysandre. Interesting to see what he brings up here, if anything. I don't really know why he'd want to. I mean, maybe the Mareep if he's not worried about it, but it seems he is not. So he'll take a prize, and it's going to be the Max Elixir. Okay, so yeah, very likely that he'll be able to Crystal Ray next turn. That doesn't really bother me at all. It's about as hindering as Resistance Blizzard, even a little less than Resistance Blizzard, because of course we have the Yveltal on our side. So I could attach to this, then Misty, and try and hit Ampharos for Mareep. That seems redundant right now because we're not able to add any more damage onto it. I'm fine powering up a Yveltal. You might think it's weird, but once we get through, once we get through with this Regice, it's not going to be that difficult to use to start attacking with it. So we'll go down to 5 cards. Damn, we miss quite a lot of things. You can see what I mean, though, about... I think I didn't say this in this recording, but I've been thinking about cutting some of the rare candies for an extra heap of Flaaffies, and you can see how that would be much better here. But, of course, we're going to Oblivion Wing. It's going to hit for 30, which sucks because he can just reset that. The Rough Seas is very annoying. But again, he's still two-shotting us, so I'm not super worried about it. Interesting to see what the dive ball is. Well, he's going to fail it. So it must just be Regice and Glaceon. Like, I feel like maybe it's just the 1 Manaphy, even. Interesting build, all the same. You get an awful lot of use out of dive ball, I'll give him that. So yeah, he's going to bring up the Zorua, which is fine. If I had anything with a Float Stone on it, now would be a great time to do it. I don't have any Darks in the discard pile. I don't have a Zond in the discard pile, so the Yveltal is kind of useless here. Might be worth sending up Mareep. Yeah. We'll Trainers Mail. Okay, well now I have Lysandre, so it's still not worth it though because I can't retreat this now. Let's see. Faded Town could be nice just to push it out. Forces him into an awkward place. I didn't even check what prize he took, which was kind of lazy of me, but let's see. I'll take the Faded Town, I suppose. I kind of want to save the Reverse Valley because I'm going to assume the Faded Town gets knocked, so, and that's not super relevant right now, so let's go with that. It's Faded Town. Shaymin for 1 doesn't sound that great. N. Okay, and I think this is where this is kind of the route we want to take here. Gonna break evolve that. It does mean we can't hit Glaceon, but we have this guy for Glaceon now, so it's gonna balance out. I would like to preserve this. I could have also Sky Returned there, which might have been a better option, just so I could draw more cards next turn, but what can you do, eh? I might just let this thing go down. Yeah, I think that's my best option here. Okay, 2 Fury Belts, it's fine. I really don't mind this at all. It's going to counter the Rough Seas, that's, or the Faded Town. It doesn't matter this turn, so again, perfectly fine by me. And this is why I took the Faded Town over the Reverse Valley, is because I knew it would get countered at this point. So yeah, it's going to go down to 3 prizes. A little bit scary for us. He's going to take that. Okay. Alright, get another VS Seeker. It's probably going to be N. Or I can Misty away this and go for something cool, but I don't think that's a good idea. So, yeah. I'm definitely going to do this. And then we're going to N. Set him back a bit. I mean, the Octillery makes him pretty N-proof. Would love to hit Reverse Valley here. Zoroark's also pretty good, though. Zoroark and Float Stone, nonetheless. Wondering if it was better to Oblivion Wing there, but no. We'll just Baleful Knight. For 120. Obviously, Fury Belt's going to keep him alive a little bit. But it means I can swing with Zoroark next turn, so I'm not super worried about it. Gonna Max Elixir. And fail it if he's taking this long to look, I assume, because... Okay, there goes another energy on the Regice, another Fury Belt on the Glaceon, and Manaphy, and now he's... Oh, okay, he's got the Abyssal Land. I was like, oh, he's in top deck mode, but no, Octillery putting in the work. Yeah, he's getting a lot of use out of Dive Ball, so it's kind of a cool deck to see. Fails his third max elixir. If he's running DCE with it, though, I assume he's got a lower count of water energy anyway. And again, another Glaceon out. Yeah, I don't really see the need in benching that. Well, he's going to second bite. Suppose he wants to conserve this on the bench here. And it's going to do 80 damage to myself. See, the full bench is going to be 160. See, the rough seeds is super annoying. This is his third one, isn't it? No, it's just a second. Well, we'll do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. $160. And I can Y-Cyclone back a KO on, like, whatever he sends up. Or I just Baleful Knight. Put this thing back on 120. Keep putting the pressure on it. I think I'm going to Baleful Knight this turn. So I want this here. Yeah, we've got more DCEs. We can start powering up this guy. I don't want to put the Shaymin down. Don't want to give him any more easy prizes. We'll get this down. See, now if he comes in with Regice and takes the kill, it's a bit of an issue. So we're going to retreat to this guy. And I think we'll Evil Ball. Yep. So now he's probably going to retreat into Regice and try and take the KO this way. Or not take the KO, but at least he's going to Regice. But that sets me up for Baleful Knight. Or a Mind Jack. Oh, and the Enhanced Hammer finally coming down. But that's okay. We got more DCEs in the hand. The Rough Sea's putting in the work for him. Auxiliary for 2. Yeah, and he is going to retreat to Regice. And Resistance Blizzard. But that's fine by me because Baleful Knight's going to put in a ton of work now. Gonna stand in. Okay, but I also have Lysandre in hand. I think I'd like to save that for now. I got Lysandre to Manaphy, via Seeker Lysandre up. I got Lysandre up Glaceon. Do I need to deal with the Regice at all? That's my question. Because I can Lysandre up the Manaphy and just take the KO on that. He's not able to KO as a Rourke. So either way, this is safe. Because I can Lysandre up the Manaphy KO that. Then he comes in with this. Then I just Baleful Knight and KO whatever he promotes. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Getting rid of the Manaphy's pretty annoying for him. The other one has been taken from the prizes, though. But if he plays it, it's just another easy target, so... yeah, we'll just Mind Jack. See, I think the biggest issue with this deck is that you're trying to avoid playing Shaymins because Shaymins are easy targets. And it's like, oh, it's so easy to kill a Shaymin, but isn't Manaphy just as bad? Like, you still have an easy target on the board, so it balances out. He's going to play the N. I probably should have played that Ultra Ball, unless I just drew that off the prizes. I can't remember. But I should have Ultra Balled. That's still a solid hand. And again, remember, he can't actually kill this. So we've got another turn of Mind Jacks. And he's... oh, I don't know if I agree with that. Would he kill me anyway? 3, 6, 9, 12, 130. No, he wouldn't have. 150, 160. Yeah, I'm getting the KO now. He shouldn't have benched that. Gonna Ice Beam. Oh, go for the Paralysis. And it's Tails, though. That was a clever idea, though. I appreciate that. Do I want to use the Absol? If I use the Absol, I can't use Fright Night. Yeah, and I think that's bad. Could have Ultra Ball both of them away, actually, and gotten the Ampharos out. I didn't think of that. But we got more DCEs in there, so doesn't matter too much to me. I'll just do this to check the deck a little bit. Yeah, we got 2 Ampharos. We got more DC. We got more Rare Candies. Yeah, I'm fine with that. And Sycamore. There is our Rare Candy into this. It means he won't be able to keep healing his Glaceon, at the very least, so we'll get that on our side. So I'll Shocking Light that Glaceon. It's now on 130. Would have loved to have powered up this guy this turn. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. Yeah, the Fury Belt's pushing him in a KO range for that. But I could do this. And leave myself with the dark side, obviously. Then retreat and do this, and I go up to 130, 160. He'd heal back. No, he wouldn't heal back. Well, he might heal back. I don't think it's super relevant. I think I just want to take the KO with this guy. Yeah, well, Mind Jack. Probably should have Ultra Ball away these two, but the Hex Maniac might come in handy to stop his Octillery. And VS Seeker I got left. Still the one. Only one Lysandre gone. Question is, can I take 3 prizes past her? And he can take 3 prizes. This has been a really tense game all the same. Despite the kind of unorthodox matchup. Sycamore's away. 3 of them. 6, 9, 12, 130. Yeah, he's going to bounce the Rough Seas, but we still got a turn of... No, we didn't actually get a turn at all, so that kind of sucked. But, I don't know. It forced him into some sort of awkward position, I hope. Anyway, he's going to Resistance Blizzard. He is going to take the KO from that. And our Yveltal has free retreat, so I can promote this safely enough. The other Shaymin is not in here, so that's kind of shitty. I'm going to Shocking Light this guy. The real issue for me is not having, not actually having access. I don't want to take any of these because I'm probably going to Sycamore. With 2 cards left in deck, I'd have to VS Seeker for N, and I've still got Lysandre left. Yeah, I need to draw stuff, so I have to do this. Alright. If I can get a Fright Night going, we can do this in 1 turn. That's what makes me really excited. So I'm going to Baleful Knight. I got 120, 160. Need to make sure I have a Dark Energy left is the biggest issue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There should be 2 left somewhere. Getting rid of the DCE is huge. Absolutely massive for him. That's massive. I think he wins the game with that enhanced armor, actually. Suppose I should have Super Rodded back a bunch of Dark Energy, but I don't think I have any in the discard pile. No, I don't, so I can't have even done that. And he's going to Sycamore. We should still have another turn of Evil Ball, though, which is really cool. So I can Lysandre like something next turn and just take the KO with that. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 250. Yeah, okay, so we can Lysandre this next turn. Again, he can't actually take the KO on this. So we're safe. He can't run more than 2 enhanced armor, right? He just can't. So I'm going to VS Seeker. And I'm going to grab Lysandre. And I know there is another Lysandre in the deck. It's actually like right here. So going to Lysandre up this guy. I'm almost even tempted. How many DCE we got left? This is the last one. Okay. So, well, we may as well. Like, he's just going to heal that off, so I'm just going to guarantee we have the damage. He says GG. I don't think it's over yet, buddy. I'll Evil Ball for the knockout. If he pulls a Giovanni scheme on me, I'm going to be very impressed. To be honest, I'll be more impressed than disappointed. Yeah. I should have played Super Rod this turn. I really should have Super Rodded back in all the Dark Energy. Damn, that was a bad mistake. That was a mistake. But we got one in hand now. He's going to end us. Oh, is he going to second bite for the knockout? Oh, can he second bite for the knockout? 20. It's 80. GG, my man. GG, my man. Oh, GG, my man. I was going on about this attack earlier on in the game. I was like, yeah, it's not too bad, actually. Because the other plan was then just Lysandre this up and Friday Night it to death. Oh, no. Yeah, GG, my man. I can't argue with that. That was actually a really good game. I don't know if it showed off the deck super well about the Ampharos. Probably didn't, actually, to be honest. But I don't know. The deck is really good. I think it's just super conceptual right now, and it needs a lot more work. And you want to really work it out so it's super consistent with the Ampharos going into it. And also don't play against decks that run really high counts or rough seas. That's very annoying. But listen, thank you guys for watching. I knew this was supposed to be up like a day ago, but like I said, I ran into some issues and I don't want to record any more games, especially because that was a pretty good game. Like, so fair play to, what was his name? Rand Attacker. That was quite nice. I enjoyed playing that, even though he lost. So at the end of this, I'm going to throw in an extra bonus glitch that happened to me while I was trying to get some games with this thing. Quite funny. GG to my opponent as well for taking it well. See you there in a second. Okay, so our opponent's going to play Escape Rope. We're up against Volcanion, as you can see. And when he plays his Escape Rope, he's going to go into his bench Tupa with a Float Stone on it. And the funny thing about this, if you look at my bench, you'll see there is a Friday Night Yveltal on there. But the important thing to know is that it's on the bench. And the funny thing about that is, for some reason, PTCGO won't let this man retreat. It thinks the Fright Night is still in the active spot. I'm not sure why. At first I thought it had to do with the Fright Night, like if I thought it was because I broke evolved the Fright Night, but then when I watched back the footage, I realized that this happened before I broke the Fright Night. Is broke the right word? What do you guys say? Is it broke? Braked? I don't even know. But no, it's just because the Fright Night is in play. It decided that this particular game, it didn't really want... It decided the Fright Night would just be active all the time. So the funny thing is, he's going to go into his Hoopa, he's going to send me a message saying he can't retreat. And of course, I'm very confused by this. My first thought was like, is he missing something? Is there something we're missing on the field that would not allow him to retreat? But I don't think so. So I'm feeling like this actually is... This fact that he missed in a turn of attacking, here's what gave me the win. And I'm feeling really good about myself here now. So I'm like, now I can get the win. But you'll see this, it doesn't quite work out like that almost. It's really bizarre. Like, I know PTCGO has its glitches. I know it definitely has its bugs. It's kind of makes playtesting on it a little bit harder when things like this can happen. He really should have won this game, and he definitely would have if it wasn't for him being able to retreat that. The Volcanion matchup in general isn't super bad. Like, it's not as bad as a lot of other decks have for the Volcanion matchup. I have been able to beat it online a couple of times, and really it's largely down to me getting up the Ampharos and just sort of being able to, like, very slowly spread the damage around the board. Like, it's one of those games where you don't take any prizes until, like, the last turn of the game. It's quite crazy. You basically just sit there. And now, like, look at this. I'm feeling really good. He's got a bunch of damage on his board. So I've got the break, and I've got the Float Stone in my hand, and I'm going to think, oh, this is fantastic. I'll just retreat. I'm going to two-shot this Hoopa. I'm going to lock it in the active because it'll be a new Fright Night in the active, and it doesn't let me retreat either. So we're kind of stuck with just a Mareep and a Hoopa in the active spot. But as you can see on the chat, we're sort of just having a laugh about it and taking it well. Shout out to this guy. He was really nice, because after this whole fiasco happened, I did offer to concede for him because there's no way he would have lost. With the way the game was going, I was too slow to set up. He wasn't. Volcanion is a terrifying deck, really terrifying deck. I think it's one of the most consistent decks I've seen so far in this format. And it's weird because it's like, I think the biggest issue for me with it is the non-EX Volcanion. Like, as good and all as the EX one is, the fact that it has a non-EX that sets up 2 EX attackers at once and can still OHKO, like, a lot of other non-EX attackers, like even Regice isn't very good against Volcanion because you can just go into the non-EX Volcanion and, like, and we'll see here I can manually retreat after I test the Dark Energy, but, like, even the non-EX Volcanion is just able to KO Regice in one hit. With its first attack or its second attack. And once you clear the Regices, the regular Volcanions just sweep whatever happens to be there. It one-shots everything. It sets up multiple attackers at once. It's super annoying to play against. It doesn't even really need to bench Shaymins that hard because it just draws so well. It's a really terrifying deck to go up against. But I'm going to Baleful Knight here. And this isn't the end of the crazy stuff that happens, in case you're wondering. He's playing the Skyfield Hoopa variant. Interesting one. I don't feel personally like the Hoop is super needed in it. I haven't had any trouble getting up like 4 Volcanion myself without the Hoopa. So, and I don't really like having extra targets on the board because then you're kind of forced to run Skyfield, so you actually have the extra space. I don't know. I think it's all right without the Hoopa, but it largely comes down to personal preference. So he's gonna manually retreat his Hoopa and take the KO here, but I don't know if you can see it from here. I assume you can, actually, because it's on a tiny screen on my view, but I'm sure it's much bigger on your view. But the Volcanion on his bench has 150 damage on it. But it also has a Fury Belt on it. And he's going to kill the Fright Night Yveltal here. So let's find out what happens. Yeah, no, the Volcanion matchup's okay, like I was saying. You don't take any prizes until, like, the last turn of the game. And then you just go, like, Fright Night for 4 prizes, and then, Baleful Knight for like 4 more prizes. It's crazy. You build up a whole ton of damage on the board, and then only take the KO right at the end. One thing I'm going to try and play around with in Volcanion is Rough Seas. I really like the idea of just being able to heal these things and push it into even crazier range and make it even more difficult to knock out. So yeah, I have some options here. I suppose I could. There you go, 150 and a Fury Belt. The trick here is that it still believes that the Fright Night is in play and in the active spot. I have no idea why, but it is convinced that's happening. So I'm going to match my Yveltal and play the N. Really, I just want to end him to 2 to stop his steam ups from happening over and over again, or make it so he can't hit Ranger. And here we go. Let's get the Ampharos out and finally show it putting in the work. I didn't really get to show it off too much in this video, which kind of is a shame, but it's not one of those. It's like a really small factor of the deck, which is really funny to say because it doesn't actually. It pushes you into KO range for things that you would otherwise miss. So I'm contemplating here putting it on the Volcanion and taking the KO on that. But I decide to be a bit cheeky and put it on this one at the bench because I think, right, if he doesn't hit Ranger this turn, we're okay. He could manually retreat and hit Energy, but that would be, I think I got to just sort of pray that he doesn't at this point in the game because I'm so far behind. So, and if I had Reverse Valley here, this would be an easy decision to make because I'd be taking the KO anyway. Damn, 180 HP on a Volcanion is just way too much, guys. It really should be 170. They're very difficult to knock out. So, still contemplating this. I'm trying to work out like Absol math and stuff like that at this point. So let's Shocking Light the one with the Fury Belt on it. And take the KO. Yeah, that really should not have happened. And we're both kind of laughing it off in the comments. Yeah, I offered to concede. He turned me down on the offer. He said, nah, you're going to win anyway. But so props to this guy. He was super cool about it. And yeah, that's going to do it for the deck analysis. I hope you guys enjoyed. List needs a bit of work. The concept is there and the concept is cool, but I think the list needs a bit of work. So if you guys want to give it a shot, by all means do try. The list will be down in the description. As always, you can copy and paste it into PTCGO and just get going right away. But I did announce a couple of changes that I'd make to it during this video, so hopefully you guys take them on board too. Alright, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.